sometimes that can make this be the only person in my life.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Twitter Better Us. Last month we started our Traveling Couple Wisdom segment, interviewing couples that have been traveling around the world long term to learn how they're making their relationship work.
It was really interesting to actually meet those people and discuss how they feel about traveling together for that long. What we realized though is that a few tips kept coming back, so we decided to group them together in 7 lessons.
We realized not everybody had the time to watch every interview from beginning to end to over 20 minutes, so that's why she made the lessons to help you navigate through all the important information a lot quicker. And those 7 lessons are coming up right now.
Traveling can make, can compound the problems. It can be difficult.
Traveling can make or break a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's what's like good. I always recommend travel together first before getting married.
Before you get married.
Before you live together. Travel, take a trip together first, then move in together.
Yeah.
Not the other way around.
I'd advise doing shorter trips first. Like last summer we went to Florida together and Chicago, and then went to visit my family in Pennsylvania, went up to Canada. So we were doing like a few 5-day and week-long trips first, and that was a good way to break in the long-term travel relationship and realize that we could travel well together. So I would advise doing something shorter first, especially early on.
When we were in South America, at the beginning of the trip, I was kind of like, all right, we need to write down the things you really want to do. Then I'll write down mine. Make a list of 10. And then we looked and they were pretty much the same. So then we said, okay, let's make a top 3, because some of these things are really time consuming and expensive. So, we have to see where our priorities are.
We try to prioritize things. So if we're going to a country, identify each person one thing you absolutely want to do. Absolutely deal breaker, you know what I mean?
But at the end of the day, you can't accomplish everything. So, if you just have clear goals, and then you're saying, you know what, as long as I see this one, I'm going to be happy, and everything else is a bonus. Even spending money, right? That's a big source of contention with a lot of couples, where, do they have a shared bank account? Do they not? How are they spending the money? What are they spending it on? Tracking the finances, that can be really, really challenging. And so for us, it was trying to decide where do we want to spend our money and being on the same page instead of just, one person unilaterally making all the decisions and swiping the card while the other one doesn't,
For us to slow down a little bit has been one thing, instead of moving every 2 weeks, committing to staying a month or 2 months or 3 months at a time. That really helps to keep things less stressful.
So, we touched down in New Zealand and it was just, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We have to go. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. We have to go. We have to do this. And then you realize after a while, they're all once in a lifetime opportunities, right? And at some point, your body's going to break down, which was the case for both of us. We just got exhausted and we couldn't sustain it. So then we had to become more selective. And as we were traveling, we started to go more to a slower pace in that we started a rule of let's be in a country for 5 days minimum.
And I guess it depends on the couple because we all have different strengths and weaknesses, but I would say probably travel slow, because I think that if you're trying to fit so much stuff in, you can get burned out really quickly, and you do constantly have to be doing stuff together and constantly have to be talking and constantly have to be planning. So I think that works out well for us, that we travel a little bit slower and we can, not be traveling all the time and not be planning all the time. And it makes the travels more special, but it also, I think, helps with our relationship.
For me, I like doing a lot of activities and I like jam packing it in. For Kim, she likes a bit more routine and she likes structure and, maybe one activity a day. So finding that balance. And
maybe don't think of it as a constant vacation or you have to constantly be doing things or seeing things or whatever. Just I guess it's a little tied to you, but just just, I mean, if you need alone time, just take alone time, or don't worry about like missing out on a day of activity, because I mean, in the long haul, you're seeing so much more stuff anyway. So if you need to like take a break and do something, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
I would say that certain things happen when you're traveling. For example, low blood sugar. Like if Jim doesn't get food or coffee in the morning, and the same thing, I'm more with my blood sugar, Jim's with his caffeine. You know, if that starts to get off of balance, we can get a little bit agitated, which I think probably is pretty common amongst most people when they're traveling anyway. So that's a big one that will just get kind of nitpicky or kind of get in these little.
Yeah.
This one gets hangry. So to counteract this, I always had to pack snacks with me. So if we would go to a new country, we'd hit up the grocery store and it was, okay, let's buy some snacks. And if we're, you know, spending 10 hours walking around sightseeing or something, and maybe you don't see a restaurant and you push through an extra hour or 2 hours, you know, then that can be really hard on the body, and, you know, it can try your patience, especially if it's hot and humid and you're just kind of aggravated all around. So it always helped to have food, you know.
I didn't have as much patience. I wasn't, and I think that sort of thing, if you burn yourself out, then you're more likely to fight. So you need to take care of yourself. And like I said before, take care of your health, your sleep, prioritize sleep, because that's huge in making sure that you feel mentally okay, and sleep is one of the biggest things affected by travel. So I think you need to prioritize your sleep and make sure you take care of yourself.
Kind of keeping it fresh, doing interesting things. A common thing that comes up between us is, okay, well, what do you want to eat for dinner? And of course, we have a long list of, okay, one day we're going to try this place, we're going to try this place. And then when we can't decide, we go to the list and we can't find an answer. So just doing new, different things together.
Probably once a month or once every other month, we will plan like a side trip weekend that we don't work, and that we go stay somewhere kind of nice, and that we don't, that's kind of like a getaway within a vacation within a vacation. And it's a lot of it is a lot of like quality time together, just relaxing.
We try to do twice a week where we kind of go on like a low key date, but I would say that like we've gotten closer in like understanding each other's different moods, and, you know, like paying attention to everything about the person, I guess.
Yeah, I know everything about her now. Just literally everything.
Things I don't even want to know. Oh God.
So we try to make sure, even though it's maybe like 2 hours apart a whole week, we try to make sure that we do have a little bit of breathing space, or if we realize we're arguing about something stupid, just to acknowledge, okay, this is stupid, and then we both just like get over it a lot faster.
Jim right now is going to a co-working space during the day.
Yeah.
And I've been staying and working at home. So because it's easier to teach from home than to teach from a co-working space. But I think that helps too, that periodically we'll do things like that where we might work in different places, and then it will be almost like a real work day.
Yeah.
We'll be apart for 7 or 8 hours, and then we come back. So I think that helps a lot. But I think that's something we're going to have to, as we grow as a couple, we're going to have to figure out how to do that, because I think it's healthy to have activities that you do apart. And that's something I think we'll be working on.
When we're working on other things, sometimes we'll go somewhere together, like a cafe or something like that. But Rachel likes going to co-working spaces a little bit more than me. So there's a lot of times when she'll go sign up at a co-working space and I'll just work at home. So sometimes there's several hours in the day where we're working on different things in different places.
I think we've done a really good idea of trying to figure out how to like create some space between us, so we're not just like in each other's pockets all the time.
I think that like the thing I probably appreciate the most, like being like this close to her all the time, is how we both still appreciate our alone time. It's this blessing, because like I mean, we can we like to get out every once in a while, but a lot of times we can be just kind of introverted, and living in such a small place is kind of a little bit introverted. It can be a little bit hard. So I don't know, like we have this beautiful thing where we can just like go into separate rooms and do our own thing for a while, and it's kind of fun. So
Yeah, I'd agree that that's That's probably like the main thing that makes this work. Like if
Yeah.
if you were really extroverted and you wanted to hang out and talk and be together like all the time, or go out and do stuff all the time, like that, it would get to be a little bit much. I would still love you, but it would get to be a little bit much. So it is nice that we both agree on like how much time to spend together and how much time to spend apart.
You know, sometimes you need to travel by yourself, and I think that's good for a relationship, because like he was saying, it gives you new things to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like getting to know each other all over again in some kind of way.
Mm-hmm. And then realizing that you miss the other person, right?
Right? It's good to miss someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there you have it.
Don't worry, we're going to keep interviewing a lot more couples, so come back for a lot more lessons and advice.
If you have any specific questions that you want us to ask them, just send them our way and we'll make sure to ask them to our guests.
And make sure you hit that like button, smash that subscribe button so you can be notified whenever we keep getting more couples on. And until next time, bye!